Before it works, just a quick question. So we are trying to make the Dubai the happiest city on earth, and we are using the tool named technology. How is it going?
Pretty much.
It's always better
That's
to
what the
use
presentation
technology.
is about. So,
Okay, that was an answer, I believe.
see, depends on the very first thing is there's a kind of. So we don't have a mandate to be the most efficient city to save money. Our only mandate that the government has given us, or Sheikh Hamdan has given us, is we want to be the happiest city on earth. How do we achieve that? That is your experience with the city, the interaction that you do, the overall city experience that you will have. So the whole idea is that that should be happy. Your well-being, so that what it brings in well-being, it brings in how much time do you have to spend with your family and so on and so forth. So the whole idea is that any initiative we undertake as the city, as the government, should actually contribute to that well-being. There is a major initiative that started.
I leave you now. The stage is yours.
Oh, thank you. So I won't bore you much, but where it all started is our vision is to make Dubai the happiest city on earth. This is how the entire government works. Everybody in the government believes that. Every department, even when the police department gives you a ticket, they want to make you happy about it. So, exactly. So it's for your happiness, and the whole idea is that that whole experience should be seamless, should be happy and efficient. So, this is a legacy that started way in the early 90s. How many of you are from Dubai? And how many of you have really seen a decade-old Dubai or a couple of decade-old Dubai? So you understand what I'm talking about. There's a whole journey. Every time it just surprises you. Anybody who's visiting, you'll see a new Dubai every time. So this started in 1999, where Sheikh Mohammed, he basically gave a mandate. We wanted to go to e-government. We want to be the first one, transform everything to electronic government. Then the Dubai Internet City was launched in 2000. It's been almost 20 years now, but that was a major milestone for everyone who understood what Dubai was. In 2001, Dubai e-government established. In 2013, there was a new mandate, everything to smart government. So your mobile phone should be your interaction with the government. In 2015, there's an organization called Smart Dubai was established, which was pretty much the CIO office of the city, and also the Smart City initiatives were all under that umbrella. In 2015, the Smart Dubai office established. In 2016, two things happened. One is Dubai embarked upon its open data initiative. And then what you guys are more excited about, that was when the Dubai blockchain policy was announced. So in 2016, a mandate was given that by 2021, all city transactions, all applicable city transactions should be paperless and on blockchain. And here we are in 2018, 3 days ago, the Crown Prince Sheikh Hamdan, he basically made a major announcement of the Paperless City Initiative. Anybody heard of that? So now we have a date, 12/12/2021, which is when the last paper transaction should happen, and the last piece of paper will be shredded from the government in Dubai. After that, the requirement is that no government entity will issue or accept any piece of paper. That's a major undertaking. And what that means is, if you look at most of the other governments, there was this digital also, in a way, what I call, in the 90s, when your service delivery, one important thing with Dubai versus the rest of the world is that we see ourselves as a service provider. So government is a service provider to you. So the service delivery channel in the early 90s, we said, okay, it should be digital also. We should also provide you a electronic and digital service delivery channel. A lot of countries in the world, Singapore, many other places, they moved to a digital first strategy. And in a way, what we are now doing is completely overhauling that. We are going to a digital-only strategy. And I mean, now that's easier said. Now, how to actually achieve that was the next objective. So, one is we actually have been unifying all of these initiatives under one umbrella, which is the Smart Dubai initiative. Uh, we all understood that data is a very major part to achieve this open data initiatives. So Dubai Data Establishment was formed, the Dubai Data Strategy was formed, developed. A data law, open data law was released last year. And I don't know how many of you may have gone to the website of Dubai Data, which is Pulse. I think it's called Dubai Pulse. Google it, and a lot of data sets are already available. So we have been creating policies, creating the primary data registries for the city, developing the policies around it. A lot of this data is available and in a freemium model already. And more is coming. In fact, that's where people like yourself, the ICT community, the startup community will be very interested that we are now moving towards an open data and open API model where the whole idea is in order to enable smart city, it's the API economy has to work. The citizens have to actually ideate and create services. And that's where we are going through various initiatives of enabling open data, open API. We have a smart city accelerator. We are working on various other innovation hub programs that will be coming this year also. So as I said, we have in a way three entities. One is Smart Dubai, which is like the policy making arm of the city. Then there is a Dubai data entity, which is responsible for Dubai data, all of the open data initiatives. Then we have Smart Dubai government, who is like the CI office of the city. And the whole idea is we are coordinating between all government entities to achieve this paperless objective. And all other government entities are supporting us in this. Last 3 years have been significant for us. We launched the Dubai Happiness Meter. How many of you have seen the Happiness Meter? So basically, any service that you do, you take, you interact with the government initially. You actually have these kiosks or tablets where you actually mention how happy you are. And now we are actually refining that. We initially tried it out. Private sector also got engaged. We have over a couple of 100 million votes that come every year already. And somehow there's a very interesting thing. We have found out that somehow, for whatever reason, Tuesday 11 a.m. is the happiest time in the city. Most of the people vote happy at that time. I don't know what happens on Tuesday 11 a.m. So that's an interesting observation. For the scientists out here, maybe you can, that's a clue, you can discover something.
Maybe the happiest people are using the technology.
I don't know. That's a next Nobel Prize waiting for someone here to decode this thing. We developed the Smart City KPIs in 2019. We gave the Smart District guidelines for 2015. And then, as I said, Dubai Data Law was released in 2016. We have a Smart Dubai platform. That is very important because we have created a citywide private cloud platform, which is used by most of the government entities also. But now we are opening it up for other services. So that's where now it is called actually Dubai Pulse. We have upgraded to Dubai Pulse. That's where Dubai data, all of the data resides. Open APIs, open data will be available on that platform. And we are kind of improving the architecture of this. That would be the foundation of our paperless strategy also. Then we had our happiness agenda was given in 2017 and the blockchain strategy. And in last year, we also finalized our city transformation agenda 2021, which is a very interesting document. Search it, it's available on the net as to what we are trying to achieve. 2021 is that target date or what we are trying to achieve by then. 50% of all city invoices by 2021 will be digital, and so there's a whole criteria, and that is across all sectors. How much of the transportation of the city should be autonomous by then? What percentage of buildings in the city should be 3D printed by then? We are the only place which has given proper deadlines as to what will happen by 2021 in terms of percentage of 3D printed buildings. or actually buildings using 3D printed material. Most important, industry creation. We cannot make this happen without the ecosystem around us. So we are actually working a lot towards, for example, for this blockchain strategy. A lot of that focus was in creating the whole entire ecosystem, supporting the ecosystem around us. Made a lot of entities come to Dubai. We actually created, did a lot of accelerator programs. Then the next part was industry leadership. We created this blockchain award, which happens every year. We are major contributors to Hyperledger Foundation and Ethereum Alliance. So those are the kind of initiatives which we are already into in supporting this technology. Now we are actually starting a new initiative of blockchain and government because we realize that a government blockchain platform, we require to have it has a different issues. We have to put the policies in place. And that's where we are leading and we are actually then sharing this, what we have learned from everybody else in the world also. So we created a blockchain and government task force where we are in a way working, collaborating with other governments in kind of finalizing these policies. A very important part, which in order to achieve this digitization, was a digital ID. We have launched a new nationwide program of digital ID, which is going to, inshallah, go live end of June this year, which would be a mobile SIM-less ID, having separate signing and separate transaction certificates. We are creating a blockchain-based circle of trust around it, so their ID attribute consumers and attribute providers. The banking industry is already working with us to become part of the circle of trust. So you'll be able to authorize transactions, to sign documents, and also to give consent to sharing of your own data, because you own that data. And we are updating the law, so we understood that the legal infrastructure had to be also approved. So at the federal level also now we are undertaking this. A new digital signature law is currently in works. Our current law eliminates, I think, 6 things. It did not allow 6 things, which was wills, marriages, divorces, immovable assets, negotiable instruments, and notary documents. That is pretty much most of the important things. One of the banks here is working now on a smart check concept. We are actually doing a use case where this whole rental journey, we were bringing it on blockchain. So we've already done the POCs, and now we are actually going to go live in April. So in Dubai, when you rent, it's very unique that you actually have to give post-dated checks. So that whole experience now we are taking it electronic. A bank is already working with us to issue these smart checks. So in this new law, we will be most likely putting some caps and eliminating. So we will be allowing most likely immovable assets up to a certain size, maybe negotiable instruments up to a certain size. We may not touch wills and divorces and marriages, so those would be probably not touched. Those would not be touched, but pretty much everything else will be covered in the law. And then we are also looking at self-sovereign ID. So we are exploring, this is something we are not having a committed date, but at this stage we're looking at cross-border authentication of that, cross-border acceptance of these digital IDs also. So up till now, since in the last 3 years, we had 137 initiatives launched, 1129 smart services launched. We have an app called Dubai Now, which is now evolving into the only platform. It's a single channel for your interaction with the government. So it's more of a marketplace. It's a platform. You create micro apps on it. You pay your police fines with it. Most of the payments are done through this. Last year, we did 12.6 billion dirhams in the transactions that was using this gateway. We have a bot that we created to help you with different services that you want in the city. This is a bit dated presentation. So what is this written? Sad. So what did you say? Sad. So we call it sad. Sad means happy in Arabic. A lot of our West European friends would call it sad, so we were not happy with that name. So we have changed that to Rashid. But it's that's what it is. On Dubai Pay side, we have taken the first. So Dubai Pay is basically a payment gateway that we run for all city services. We are going to move that into a complete city payment processor. And the settlement and recon was done manually. And it used to take up to 45 days for the settlement recon. So now what we have done is we have moved that to blockchain. We have gone production this month in January. And now we are moving pretty much. A few departments are already live and we're moving everybody on it. So this is really a first a production use case in the financial sector that has gone live. So it's not a POC, it has gone production. What did I do? So since we have started, we have saved about $1.2 billion saved by government services, by the Dubai government using smart services. For every dollar spent, we have been saving about $5.6. That is a pretty good investment that we have been doing. And we are actually building the foundations for the future of Dubai. One objective is this paperless city. We were doing some numbers after the announcement. I just saw the presentation this morning. So we are estimating that in every individual's life, on an average, you'll save 40 hours a year of not having to, go for and kind of wait for these citizen services. So that's a pretty significant number. Today, we have estimated in 1 year, we use, to provide government services, we use 1 billion pieces of paper. So that's what we intend to save. It was translating to about 130,000 trees. And to put things in perspective, Central Park in New York has 25,000 trees. And I don't know, maybe Dubai today has 130,000 trees. I don't know. I'll count it. And then before next meeting, I'll count and come. But most likely, that's the number of trees in Dubai. But the whole idea is we kind of want to create this. We want to lead. We are not scared or shying away of trying and testing out new technologies. The whole strategy is based around emerging tech. What else? So with emerging tech, as we said, we want to apply this on 100% of all applicable services. We want to create at least 1,000 business opportunities with this. And we are kind of trying to bring Dubai as the hub of this activity in the region at least. This is where you should clap. Last year, in October, at Barcelona, we got the City Award for the first smart city on blockchain. So and as I said, we'll celebrate the last transaction of paper in 2021, and now we have a date for it, 12/12/21.
Media.
Sorry?
Of media.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll shred it or something. And again, as open data is a major focus, by 2021, it should contribute 2.9 billion to the economy every year. Again, it's huge potential pretty much around in every sector. So current data sets are available, visualization of data sets are available. So where do we go from here? Of course, the target is, how many of you have heard of the Mars mission? So we wanted to be the first government on blockchain by 2020. We want to have the last piece paper transaction in 2021. That's when the UA Golden Jubilee also is there. 2030, our target is 25% autonomous vehicles in the city by 25% of transportation in the city should be through autonomous vehicles by 2030. And also, as I said, there's I think it's 30% of all city buildings will be 3D printed. Not the buildings, but 30% of the building material to be used in Dubai should be 3D printed. And of course, we are all looking at 2050 as a target where the last oil export should be. So it's really Dubai is creating new economies. UAE Centennial is 2071, and the mandate that is being given and the planning, what we all talk about is that by 2071 we want this to be the smartest nation. And we all have the 2117 initiative that was launched last year around Mission Mars. I used to also think, what is it and why it is? In fact, I just attended a seminar last week at Emirates Towers. And that's when I realized that why this is so important to UAE. Because when we look at Mission Mars, we are solving a lot of problems, scarcity of food, scarcity of water. And if we look at it, those are the kind of issues that UAE needs and that humanity also needs. So, a lot of this investment that is going in the next 100 years is not just to reach to Mars, but actually solving a lot of our existing problems. And why we do all this? We have the answer.